Former NFL player Kevin Ware has pleaded guilty to the murder of his girlfriend.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG, TikTok, bottom of the video. And we're gonna hop right back into it. So today we'll be doing a video about Kevin Ware Jr. Now, this is not to be confused with the Kevin Ware that played for Louisville and had that really nasty leg injury that really went around the world. That is not this Kevin Ware. We are talking about another Kevin Ware. This Kevin Ware actually played in the NFL in 2003 and 2004 for the Washington. At the time, they were I ain't gonna say that because that's derogatory. The now Commanders and the San Francisco 49ers. And he used to play at the University of Washington. So the headline on Kevin Ware Jr., and I was going to say allegedly or accused of, but he has now been convicted and accepted a plea for. He was charged with murdering and tampering with evidence, especially, of course, for the murder of his former GF, Taylor Pomoski. Sorry if I fucked her last name up. I'll just call her Taylor for the rest of the video. Sorry about that. But what they allege happened with Miss Taylor is that she disappeared after a house party in April of 21 from a house in a Houston suburb of Spring, Texas. Her remains were later found in December of 2021. From her remains, they were able to see that she was cut with a knife, hit with a blunt object, strangled, and before her corpse was burned. Now, no. I pause right there. Now, I'm not gonna act like I did anything to anybody before because I haven't. So, but I'm just saying, if I was to do this to somebody and then try to get rid of the body, I wouldn't just try to burn the corpse wholly because one, that's a lot to burn. That's a lot of shit to burn through. Then they still probably gonna be able to figure out that that's a corpse at somehow, some way. Usually dental records, shit like that. It's some shit of the body is just hard to burn, like hard to burn to a crisp. Like it. So that's one thing. Another thing is if I was to do that, I probably would try to chop the body up and then maybe try some shit like that. I feel like one, it'd be easier to burn attached, and two, put in different places. That's just me though. Anyway. Back to the story. So, like I said, her remains were found like this in December of 2021. He was then charged and indicted in July of 2022. So, when he was originally charged and indicted with her murder, he was already in jail for unrelated gun and drug charges, possession of a controlled substance, and an unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. So, yeah. So he actually did get in trouble for the gun and drugs. He pled out to a 15-year charge, and then last week he pled guilty to the murder of Miss Taylor for 30 years. So they actually are going to run concurrent. So he is just going to serve 30 years and not 45. And yeah, for real. I mean, he pled guilty. And this is not his first run in with the law. Obviously, he got a gun, drug charges, and one of them is by a felon. So this is not his first run in with the law. While he was at the University of Washington, he pled guilty to assault and more charges after his NFL career was over, which included assault, evading arrest, and intent to manufacture or deliver a controlled substance. So this is a man that has been, in trouble with the law basically since he got out the NFL. Well, not so. Yeah. So basically, now he is at this moment 44 years old. So like I said, he has to serve 30 years concurrent. Now, usually, with jail time and things like that, you don't serve your full 30. Now, this is obviously not a federal case because it wasn't, obviously this is fucking crazy, but it's not a federal case because it wasn't, that just the notoriety and stuff like that. Now, federal cases, you do have to do like 85% of the time. I don't think state is as much. So he'll probably at least serve probably like 20 some years and get out when he's like 65. So, yeah. I mean, he already kind of fucked his life up. Yeah, you didn't make it in the NFL, but you did play. So you really could have leveraged your shit off of that, even though you had an assault at the time. But you still could have leveraged your shit off. That's a lot of niggas who caught a charge before the NFL, gotten still had lucrative and illustrious careers afterwards. But yeah, his life is basically over. Getting out at 65 when you ain't really lived a life. You lived a life of crime basically your whole life, and you've been out of jail for 20, 30 years. Yeah, it's a hard situation for you now. But he's cooked. He pled guilty. He's basically not basically he has admitted to his guilt to these things. So yeah, he's cooked, and it's over with. So that's his ass gonna have to deal with it for the next 20, 30 years. So that's all I gotta say though. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG TikTok bottom of the video, and we out.